Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk about my experience of playing the Stern Foo Fighters pinball machine. I just got back from operating pinball here in Des Moines, and they have one secretly. The people that work there didn't even know they had one. It's like the owner snuck it in there, and while I was playing it, literally some of the bartenders coming over going, "We got Foo Fighters?" And I'm like, I guess so. So let me tell you a little bit about that story. I did not see it coming. I did not go there expecting Foo Fighters to be there. I got a little bit of footage, but for those that don't know, Stern came out with the Foo Fighters pinball machine, and I was super excited to be able to play it. I did pre-order it, and I'm excited about it. Being a huge Foo Fighters fan, being a guitar player, Foo Fighters, yeah, I love alternative rock music. Like, I know most of the albums, how to play every single song on guitar. The only other band that's like that for me is the Smashing Pumpkins. But, you know, the Smashing Pumpkins, they got their own story. I don't think they kept up coming out with big anthem rock albums throughout the years to be able to come out with their own pinball machine. But Foo Fighters, on the other hand, they did. Okay, so this was the story. I now have, I don't know how many, 4 pinball machines. A lot of people probably don't know about that because I talk about it in the podcast, but it's mostly near the end of the podcast where I talk about things other than home arcade. But when it comes to pinball, I own the 2 Pinball 2000 machines that I got last year, and then I picked up Jurassic Park, and I picked up Godzilla. Now, with the pinball machines that I have, what I've been doing is, now that I got Jurassic Park and Godzilla, I've been going out to different pinball places and comparing the machines that I have to the ones they have at their local place. And that was my plan tonight. Now, before I got Jurassic Park and before I got Godzilla, I put in at least 100 plays on all of those games to make sure that I was going to get the ones that I really like. And Jurassic Park is an IP that I really love. I have memories of a child being 14 years old, or I think maybe I was 12 years old, at the theater watching Jurassic Park. I know, it was 14 times we saw Jurassic Park at the theater. Now, Godzilla is a movie that I've watched with my wife, but it wasn't really like the IP that pulled me in. I liked watching like Mystery Science Theater 3000, making fun of movies that are similar to the Godzilla movies. But when playing Godzilla in person, that one really spoke to me. It's the #1 pinball game of all time right now. So that was one that I was interested in getting. Those of you that are fans of my channel, but also Michael B, probably see a theme happening where you're like, Michael B is talking about pinball, and I'm talking about pinball. It's not a conspiracy. In fact, we both decided independently to buy the Godzilla pinball, and we literally got them at the same time. Like, we purchased them at different times, but they arrived at the same time, which was really odd. I guess just the shipments in Canada and in my area were around the same time. So pinball is something that I was saving up for since 2020, but it required me to be able to get into pinball. I had to change everything, like stop eating out, saving every bit of money. I canceled a ton of subscriptions, put all that money in savings. I asked for a raise at work. I saved all my extra money. Then I collected it over time. Last year, I tried only buying deals for Arcade 1-Up, so I wasn't wasting money there. And so every possible way that I could save up for money, and I did that for about a year, then I looked for deals. And so the Pinball 2000s, the both that I got from our local Stern dealer. They're in mint condition, and I was really happy with that deal. And he gave me like the low price that you would find on all of the places that you can get them on the market. Like, I got those machines for $3,500. Those machines are at least, I think, worth about $4,000 to $5,000, and they're in mint condition. The CRTs inside the Pinball 2000s are in mint condition. So let me tell you the story about Foo Fighters. So I went to Operating Pinball, which is owned by Greg, and Greg is the owner. He's a Stern dealer in the Des Moines area. So he has his business called operating pinball, and he has a pinball place called Operation Pinball. I think I have those right. And so he has Godzilla, and he just got he has multiple arcades. He has one in Ankeny and he has one in West Des Moines. And the West Des Moines one is closer. So tonight I take my daughter to dance, and I have a good hour and a half to rush over to the pinball place. My goal was to play Godzilla. I have a premium, but they have a pro. My plan was to evaluate, put the Pin Guy app. I wanted to see what the angle of these machines that I've been playing a lot, what they're at, and compare it to where I'm at. Like, what angle on the play field would I want to raise my machine at so it's similar to the games that I've been playing, or maybe mine is better. But I walk in, and they got Foo Fighters, and there was this lady playing the Foo Fighters, and she had just finished a game, and I walked up to her, and I was like, hey, what do you think? What do you think? And she was like, oh, you want to play? I was like, no, that's not why I'm here. I don't want to cut in line. She's like, oh, I normally play Turtles, and then I play Rush, but I saw that they had the Foo Fighters, so I had to play it. So I was like, okay, well, is it good? She's like, it's great. And so I was like, okay, I have to play it. Now, here's the thing. I'm hyping this up and saying how great it is. It's not amazing, actually. My experience of the Stern Foo Fighters pinball machine is not like, oh my God, it was amazing. It was a little quirky, actually. And there was parts of this game that were not great. And I'm going to explain why I think it was not great, but I'm still got it on pre-order, and I think I'm still going to get it. But I want to go back. I want to call Greg and be like, hey, man, I have some questions about the Foo Fighters machine that you have at the pinball place. So that same guy that I bought the Pinball 2000s from, he's the one that owns that arcade. So I was going to text him and be like, hey, have you set that up yet? So I got a little bit of footage of it. I don't know if it's going to come across very well on the stream, but let's see. I wanted to show a couple things about it. So I started playing it, and what's nice about the game, let me see if I can find a better little clip of it, is I haven't read in the instructions. I just kind of dived right into it, and immediately everything kind of makes sense. Like, you pull the plunger and the ball goes out, and it goes towards this ramp. And let me see if I can pull that up in some of the videos they have on Stern website to kind of explain what I'm talking about. What I really enjoyed about it is, this is the weird part. It's where I enjoyed it, but also I got excited about it, and then it wasn't consistent. This thing about the game was not consistent. And I was like, is it because I'm a bad player, which could be, or is it because of just the game needs some tuning? So let me show you what I'm talking about here. So in the Stern pinball machine, I think this is a premium that they have in their video. So this is the Pro Edition. So let me see. Come on, show me a playfield. There you go. Okay, so right when you pull the plunger, if you pull it basically all the way, it'll go up this left ramp, and that's a lot of fun. Like, you basically don't even have to do anything, and you hit that plunger. Let me go full screen on it. Maybe I'll come over here. So you go, you pull right on the plunger, and it will go up that ramp and come around onto the rail right to the right side of your flipper. And I was like, wow, that's pretty exciting. Like, you basically pull it back almost all the way, and it will perfectly go up that ramp. Okay, that's fun. That's a great way to start out the game. Except when I went to do it again, it did this crazy thing where the ball goes up the ramp and just flies over and tries to fall into this hole. And I'm like, if it falls into that hole, I don't know if I'll ever be able to get that ball back, right? And it kept on doing it pretty consistently. Like, the ball would go up the ramp. I could nail it real easy. The plunger just aims right for it, but it basically flies off. So I realized, oh, you can't pull too far. Like, if you pull all the way, this thing's gonna go knocking around all over the game. So that was really weird. And it seemed like, so yeah, it comes around. That's a lot of fun. So notice this, the tiles right there. I think they spell van. That's another thing that was really interesting. So I was playing it, and it was pretty easy to kind of hit those tiles. But what would happen is the ball would get stuck. So I think that's the van. Is that right? VAN, is that the tile? So you hit the A and the N. That was pretty easy. This happened more than once. And then the ball would just land right there against that first tile and just get stuck. I was like, what the heck is going on? Like, the game is a lot of fun, and then all of a sudden the ball gets stuck. And so if you kind of look, maybe it's hard to see, but if these two tiles are down, because there's a lip there, the ball will just sit there, and it's stuck. And you can shake it, sure, but the tilt settings on this one were such that you couldn't get the ball out without getting the tilt. And what was really sucked about my experience is that I don't even know how to explain this because it's the complicated terms of the pinball. It was a card swipe. So this is a card swipe pinball place. And when you're playing all the pinball machines, some of them are 10 points and the Jersey Jacks are like 15. Well, this one was 20. So it's like, okay, it's a brand new Foo Fighters pinball machine. So it's basically twice as much. It costs twice as much as Jurassic Park or Godzilla. Wait, no, even worse. So I fill up my card with $5 and I think, oh, I should be able to play $5 worth of pinball machines. I usually do play about an hour consistently for months. I come to these different arcades. $5 will get me pretty far. Except for when I go to swipe my 20 points on Foo Fighters, it says 1 of 4, and then 2 of 4, then 3 of 4, then 4 of 4. That's right. I'm very pixelated in this live stream, aren't I? I hate it right now. So already I'm like, okay, the ball gets stuck pretty easy. You'll get tilt. You'll have to lose that ball. And it's not that this Stern pinball machine was twice as much. It's like 4 times as much. No, it's 8 times as much. It's 8 times more expensive than any other pinball machine. Now, probably because it's brand new, it's not even out yet, so he just like cranked up the cost. And I'm sorry that I'm pixelating right now. And so because the cost was so high, I was like, I don't really want to play it anymore. It's a fun game, and I want to play it again. But if it was on free play, I'd been playing it the whole time. So, this is what happened. So I drained that $5 in like 5 minutes. It was gone. And so then I go fill up the card with $20. And then I'm just swipe, and I'm almost done. Like, the card's almost drained just playing a handful of games. And I'm like, I'm still trying to figure out this game. I got to about 30 million points on it, and I don't even know the game. It was pretty easy to keep the ball alive. Like, it wasn't like I was constantly draining. I don't think the game is like super difficult to play, except for when the ball goes crazy or the ball gets stuck. It was really easy to lose that turn, and then it got pretty frustrating. Overall, I was actually excited about the overall experience. It may sound like I had extremely negative experience. That wasn't necessarily the case. And it was because, hold on a second, I'm going to see if I can fix this horribleness on the stream here. I had an idea of how to do that. You're going to see 2 of me for a second. Oh my gosh. There's two of me. One's pixelated and one's not. This is crazy. All right, so now I'm going to do this. Okay, that was my idea of how to fix it. Anyway, so let me see if I can get some more footage here. I do get, here we go. I think this one might be a cool footage to kind of show you the firsthand experience of the game, and then I'll continue with the story here. So, I noticed that I wasn't picking the song right away. Like when the game starts, right? It gives you this option to be able to pick the song. I did that the first time, but then there was this thing where you could basically it would go ahead and play whatever song it was going to play. And then every single time, I was starting the game over again and starting a new turn, you would get an option to be able to pick a new song. And I was like, okay, let me just go for it. And a few times I went up over to the van and I got the van lock. And then from the van lock, I was able to pick a city and I tried I think I tried every city that's available. Yeah. Does everyone think I'm too clear now? So I was able to play. Yeah, that's my the end of that video. Let's see if I got another one here. That one I played already. I was able to play every every mode for a little bit, but I wouldn't get too far. I don't know the game very well, and I was trying to set up some good shots here, but I wasn't actually expecting to go live after this. But I realized I wanted to tell a few people about this experience, and I was gonna like call Michael B and be like, "Dude, let me tell you about it." And when I took my daughter home, I told her, you'll never believe, they had the Stern pinball machine there, and I got to play it, and I was describing all that. So let me tell you what I was describing to my daughter. It's one of the frustrations that I have with Stern, and it just, I guess it is what it is. I'll kind of describe this maybe dilemma about their machines, and let me know if you guys have this, same experience with, if you were interested in getting this machines, kind of like picking which one you would want. And so here's one of the concept. So let's say you wanted to get a Stern Foo Fighters. You're like a big Foo Fighters fan. So I looked at it, and the Pro is less expensive and the Premium is more expensive. Now, because all of the features that are on the Premium machine, that's the one that I put on pre-order. And I was like, yeah, that's the one I want to get. It reminds me a lot of, let's see, The Simpsons Party, where it has the upper deck over here. And then it kind of reminds me of Turtles, where it has the ball lock over here, but then with a van. And then it's got the big alien robot in the corner. Just all those different pieces, to me, adds the value. And what I was telling my daughter is the frustration that I have is if you take all of those features and say, is it worth like $3,000 for all these features? And the answer is like, probably not. Like, it's probably not worth that. But here's the thing. It is worth that because that's what the value of these machines continue to consistently go for. Like if you were to buy, a Stern premium machine and then resell it, it's going to have that premium price tag on the resell. It's not like all of a sudden it drops $3,000 in price because they're like, oh, all the toys and gimmicks that are inside the premium don't actually hold their value. No, they do. And I got into this crazy conversation with my daughter about cryptocurrency and fake money and all that. It's just kind of this weird thing how things are kind of worth whatever they're worth. But that's not necessarily the dilemma. The dilemma is, why is it every single time when I take a look at these Stern pinball machines, let's take a look at this premium, which the table on the inside, in my opinion, is fantastic. Like, oh, all these features are in here. I totally want to get the premium machine. But then the artwork, that's the weird part. Like, I'm a big Foo Fighters fan, and then you go look at this back box, and you got the aliens are kind of front and center on the premium, and the Foo Fighters band members, look, they're like kind of blended into the artwork. It's like, where's Dave Grohl on this artwork? So, okay, I'm going to spend all this extra money on the premium machine, and the premium machine kind of doesn't really showcase in the back box the band that I really am interested in. And then if you look at the artwork itself, the artwork is kind of this toy thing, and I get it, like that's an artistic choice. And I'm like, okay, again, the table is really cool. But then you hop over and you look at the Pro, and you're like, okay, the Pro doesn't have the advanced table. It doesn't have all those extra features that you would find, inside the machine there. It doesn't have these fun little gadgets and toys. But you look at the artwork, and it's front and center showcasing the band that you really like. It shows that, which is now, in my opinion, becoming kind of iconic with this Stern pinball machine, this whole theme of Foo Fighters, in this tour bus. And let me see if I can find just a quick headshot on this. So I was telling this to my daughter. It's like, it's kind of a dilemma. Like, I want to get the premium machine and then swap out for the Pro back box. And I feel like if you're spending that type of money, like, do you really need to do that? And they just have a million pictures. Look how many pictures they have of this machine. It's pretty fantastic when you think about it. Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, so that's the Pro Edition. Yeah, I guess it's kind of cut off. Let's see. There it is. I was able to pull it up here. So I think this artwork is the better of the artwork. Matt Astro Gaming is like, do they make upgrade kits? The thing is, everything that they sell, you can get replacement parts for these different things. I think the backglass replacement is like $100. So if you wanted to get the different artwork, I don't remember where that source came from. Like, I'm definitely only into purchasing pinball machines in the last few years. So maybe there's a less expensive way to be able to swap it out. I want to switch my back box to Nirvana. That's pretty good. But here's the thing. That's what it's like with Foo Fighters. And then this is the pattern that I found. If you go into the different games that they have and you go look at some of the other machines, let's take a look at the one that came out that was also pretty interesting. It's the 007. You kind of see this pattern. So in my opinion, what was appealing to me, and I've played the Pro and the Premium. I'm not sure if I've played the LE. I definitely haven't played the 60th anniversary. So I talked to my wife about this. This was an option for purchase, and she signed off on it. She was like, yeah, if you wanted to get James Bond, that sounds like a great IP. And it's the same thing where it's like this Dr. No, Sean Connery, everything about the artwork. And then when I go see it at the pinball places, like they typically will have the Pro. And I'm like, yes, this artwork is great. This artwork looks awesome. Everything about it is amazing. But the Premium playfield is a little bit better. So I'm like, okay, I'm drawn. If you're going to buy it for your house, like maybe you want to get the Premium. So let's go look at what the Premium looks like. You get all these great things, but in my opinion, like the Premium artwork is not as good, so everything about it's kind of more of these like movie posters. And I kind of like the yellow that was from the original one, from the Pro. And so I don't know. It's kind of interesting. So anyway, there's this interesting dilemma with these machines. It's like I like parts of the Pro and I like parts of the Premium, and then it gets kind of frustrating, which one to get. And then there's the idea as well is, do you always want to buy these newer model machines, or do you want to buy some of the older machines? And so, yeah, so that's the thing with the Foo Fighters. Like a lot of these, the Pro would be fine. And then I was telling this to my daughter. It's a crazy thing. Like if you're going to buy brand new, like if you just get the pros are less expensive. And if you can't afford to buy multiple, I'm talking about buying multiple premium machines or over time, right? Like if you can save up some money and like this year you get one and then down the line you get more, right? No matter how long of span of time that you stretch it out, if you were to get multiple newer machines, you can technically get more pros than you could premiums, right? It's just premiums are more expensive. And then that's still the case if you buy used, right? Because some of the older Stern, like 2012, like those are still in that kind of modern era where, yeah, they'll need some maintenance, but not as much as the machines from the 90s. And a lot of the Stern machines that I've been looking at, I mean, there's other brands out there, but like X-Men is one that I've been looking at that's a 2012, and the game is just fantastic. Doesn't have any of the new, digital features or a digital LCD that's 16:9 and bigger. But the game is just absolutely amazing. But it's still pretty modern enough where the quality of it is pretty nice. So at some of the local pinball places, they have some of the older machines, some from the 90s, some from the 2010 era, and so, but some of those keep their value as well. Right? So like the X-Men that I was interested in, that's like a $5,000 machine they go for. But these machines, these pinball machines are also available at these Iowa auctions. I've been watching them for a while. And now that my wife keeps on saying, like, why are you constantly looking at pinball machines on your phone? And I tell her these stories, and it's like, you're always talking about Facebook Market. Facebook Market this, Facebook Market there. She's like, do you ever sell on Facebook Market? I'm like, no. Do you ever buy anything on Facebook Market? I'm like, no. I've like never sold, never bought. And she's like, why are you constantly talking about Facebook Market? And why are you constantly looking at Facebook Market? And the answer is, I'm constantly looking in my area and the areas around where I live for arcades and for arcade one-ups and pinball machines. It's like I'm getting a constant feed of what the prices of these machines are in my area. I don't necessarily like buy it every day or anything like that, but I'm getting consumed. It's kind of like my wife is constantly like looking at Reddit at funny jokes. This is kind of a hobby for me for several years of just like taking in, okay, this now sold in my area. It's like I'm price charting in my head. It's a part of, yeah, Craigslist is too murdery. It's like I'm taking in the value and the prices of different machines over time in my area. And I kind of have a pretty decent mental model of, oh, if I see a Pac-Man class of 1981 with an LCD, okay, what year was that built? That's what brand new, about $3,000. They're available on this website, but used, you can get them for $2,000 in my area, maybe $1,500 in my area. So if I see one all of a sudden for $500, which I never do, but if I did, maybe I would contact that person. Or as an example, there's a person in Ankeny, Iowa right now that I've been following for a while that is a Mandalorian premium, and it's been on the market for about 3 months. His description says he's kind of desperate, needs the money, and he keeps on lowering the price of his Mandalorian because I think he really needs the money, and there's not a lot of people in his area that are actually interested in buying the Mandalorian. I think it's a premium, Mandalorian premium. I'm not necessarily interested in buying it, but I am interested in how low it will go. And I don't know, maybe if a Mandalorian premium was available for half price or something, would you buy it? You know, because you're like, that's 50% off a deal because this guy like needs the money. Or maybe that machine shows up at the auction. And I see at the auction and I know it's been sitting on the market for a long time. So everybody in this room has probably seen this Mandalorian on Facebook Market, on OfferUp, and no one's bid. So maybe I'm like, let me play a little bit in that field and do some bidding and see where it goes. And so, yeah. Anyway, that's my story. So Foo Fighters, I think it's a lot of fun, but here's the thing. What I did, why I think that the machine I think is good, but I had a bad experience, was I don't think it was actually very level. And so there's this, oh wow, it made me sign out, you jerk. So what I did was there's this app for your phone called Pin Guy, and it's a really nice app. It'll help you like level your playfield. You level your legs and stuff. You put it on your playfield, and it'll help you decide if your machine is plumb, like if it's level, right? Come on, let me in, stupid iCloud. I want to show you a picture, and it won't let me show you the picture. It logged me out. I don't know why. Anyway, so it's coming up here in a second. And so what you can do is you can use this app, like literally if you're at a pinball place. And so that's what I've been doing because I've been putting it on the glass, and you can tell it I'm sitting it on the glass, and it'll tell you put it near the center of it, and it'll tell you if it's aligned or not. And it wasn't horrible, but this is what the on the playfield on the glass, it was kind of off. You know, I usually do this on the playfield, not on the glass, but you can see that the X is off a little bit. And then when I was actually playing, where did I go? When I was actually playing the Foo Fighters machine, even the bubble level was just like unlike any of the other bubble levels that are on any of the machines there. It was pretty off. So I'm guessing that Stern operator put that game out there. It was on the floor. People could play it, but I don't think he really leveled it. I don't think he had it set up all the way yet. Like, someone told me it just can't. That lady that I talked to when I first came in and she was playing it, She said it came in earlier this week. She's been in here, and it's been here a few times. And then this dude came in and started playing Guardians of the Galaxy. And dude, that guy loves his Guardian of the Galaxy. He had Guardian of the Galaxy gloves, and then he sat down with his like pro gloves playing the pinball. I'm not that level, but that guy takes it pretty serious. He played that same game for an hour straight. He was getting some high scores too. I think he's practicing for a tournament. Anyway, I think the bad experience that I had that I was describing, where the ball would just like fly up off the ramp, where the ball would get stuck. I think the key thing, the thing that was hopefully the case, is the game isn't fully, set up yet. And then the other thing was, literally while I was playing it, I was playing the Foo Fighters machine, and I was like, okay, I got to take a break because this thing's just chewing up all my money. I went over to play Godzilla, and I look back, and Foo Fighters was updating literally right then and there. And so I had seen some tweets from people online saying that, Foo Fighters has got like 2 patches already. Is that right? Surplus, you're saying, and how do you say this? Is it an inclinometer, or is it a clinometer? A clinometer? Like, it's kind of funny. Have you ever seen that movie where it's that kid who reads a lot, but he like doesn't have a lot of socialization? So when he says words for the first time in public, he's like, this is like a debacle. Like, he says words crazy. So this is the inclinometer. I'm like, I understand it's a meter for inclination, for incline thing. I'll look into that. So I've been using just the phone app Pen Guy. And yeah, so that, like, my Godzilla is recommended at 6.5 to 7. And I've been playing with it at 6.3, 6.4, and now I'm at 6.6. And I'm just kind of playing with those different ranges. And I did that on Jurassic Park. And I went to this one place that there's like multiple places in Des Moines that have Jurassic Park, and all of them are set up differently. And there's one that I prefer more than the other. And so I went to that particular one and I analyzed it thoroughly. Like, why is this particular game more enjoyable, this version of Jurassic Park, than another one? And what I deduced is it's at a 6.3 slope. It's the Newton ball is tightened so that when it wraps around, it quickly will wrap around and doesn't hit the post. So I made all those tweaks to my Jurassic Park, where the Jurassic Park, I put basically a washer. I put a washer between the rod of the Newton ball of the Jeep, and that caused basically that pinball that's connected to that rod to not hit the post, so it can swing around really quick. But I can always undo that, right? I can undo that in such a way where I think it's more enjoyable, like to be able to spell T-Rex pretty easily. You can hit it and just flies over. And then I'm also thinking about people that come over and want to play. And a lot of my sister and my brothers and my friends, when they come over, they're not going to be like experts at these pinball games. But I think I can, and I haven't done it yet because I'm still working on the basement. I plan to come them over and be like, okay, Jurassic Park, here's your goal. You just want to go for that Jeep, and you want to aim for, I don't know. There could be different ways to do it to kind of get them excited about it. Like, how can you teach them very quickly, very simple rules to the game where they get a lot of enjoyment out of it very quickly? And then, so for Godzilla, it's like, okay, go up this right ramp and then go right towards the bridge. So you can, right for the building in the center, so you can get a ball lock. Do it again, ball lock 2, ball lock 3. You're going to get multi-ball. It's going to drain, and the balls come back, and then you're just having a lot of fun. I'm going to try to get my family, my siblings, and, my friends who come over, show them that. Because, no one ever showed me that the gap between not really knowing how to play pinball and only knowing a couple things to get a lot of enjoyment out of it, it's pretty small. And then, like, your gaming experience just like, exponentially grows. And, learning all the different techniques, like how to catch the ball, how to slow down the ball, the dead flips, just with practice, I've been doing it. And again, I'm not amazing at it, but I'm to the point where every single time I play, it's so much fun. Like and now I'm at the point where, since I own the Stern machines and they're connected online, I have to play every day. I can't let my streak, I can't lose a streak. I got to do consecutive days in a row. But I'm excited about being able to get to 1 billion points or 500 million. The other exciting thing is Michael B has a machine and we chat daily, and he's challenging me, and he hit 120 million on Godzilla today. My highest is 130 million, but I didn't get 130 million today. And so now I feel like this pressure from Michael B I'm going to sit, like, after this show, I told him this. I was like, tonight, I'm going to try to get 130 million on Godzilla to try to beat him. And I don't know, that just kind of makes it even more exciting when you have, friends with the same machine as you. Anyway, this is not quick, but that was my 30-minute rant on my experience with Foo Fighters. A lot of fun, played through a lot of cities. I never locked the ball though. I haven't read the instructions. I haven't studied up. That's the other thing. I haven't even actually read the instructions of many of the games at all. Like even the ones that I own, because I still feel maybe that's wrong. Kongs are us. You will, buddy. You will. Maybe that's wrong. Like maybe I should study up and read the instructions of every pinball machine that I have. But think of it this way. Like if you're playing an action platformer on Super Nintendo, like if you are still progressing in the game and you're not stuck, then do you look at the instructions? I don't. So I got to the point where I know enough about how to play to continue to discover ways to amplify my score and accelerate my score, but I'm still practicing how to repeat that. And I'm still having a lot of fun. But I know Mr. Kongs or us over here, he's probably all like studying like it's class. And he's like, okay, so this is what you do. You go up the right ramp, you go up the left ramp, and then you hit that. You hit that building 3 times in the center. You get multi-ball, and then you got to hit up this arrow and that arrow, and you're going to quadruple your score, and then there you go. But see, here's the thing. You could watch a YouTube tutorial, but what if it was a platformer game? You're going to watch the YouTube tutorial on how to beat some game, or maybe it's a role-playing game, or do you discover it yourself? I'm afraid that I'm going to go to the YouTube tutorial and learn all the thing and then accelerate my time with enjoying the machine. That would be like not savoring this drink. Do you just take shots or do you savor it? Do you grab a steak and just cut it all up and just devour it? Or do you dip it in that A1 sauce and chew it and enjoy it? That's where I'm at. I kind of want to just take it slow a little bit. Just shoot the flashing lights. That's my strategy. I mean, that's basically what I'm doing. Yeah. Nooner says, does anyone have the Iron Maiden table? If so, I'm jealous. Anyway, so those of you that are in the chat, tell me your thoughts. Do you guys know, like, let me show you this, Kong, Mr. Kongs or us, because I was taking a look at this. So if you go to Pinball Map, because I was thinking, okay, the pinball place that I went to today is the operating room. This is where I was at. And right here on Pinball Map, you go, they actually don't have Beatles. Beatles isn't there anymore. Beatles was now, that's James Bond. And then they also have Foo Fighters, but he hasn't updated. No one's gone in here and updated the site yet. So I thought, well, what if you go in here and just say, I want to play Foo Fighters. Like, which places have Foo Fighters? Let's probably go with Pro because that's the most likely one to be in arcades. So in my area of Iowa, it says there's no places that have the Foo Fighters machine, but that's just because the operating pinball place hasn't updated. They haven't logged in and updated this. But if you go over here to Irvine, California, Kongs, in Irvine, California. So Kongs is over here in this Torrance area. It's where Kong lives. And not too far over in Irvine, there's this place, this open market right there. Foo Fighters Pro, buddy. They say they have it. Give them a call. Give them a call and be like, do you really have the Foo Fighters machine? Yeah. Did they have it on display? Is it available? Look, they got all these. They have the Godfather too. Or is this just, yeah? They say they have the Godfather, dude. You could go to Irvine and you could play Godfather and you could play Foo Fighters. Thanks for doxing me. I didn't say, look, man, I didn't say that you live right over here. That's not what I said. I didn't say that your house is right there. That's not what I did. I didn't dox you. I said you live around here. And I named Torrance specifically because I know that's near where you live, but not exactly where you live. I mean, I'm not doxing myself, right? So I had said that I live in Iowa, but I normally say I live in the Des Moines area, but actually I live kind of around the Des Moines area. Anyway, is B's house listed? Yeah, just go look up B Kong, because that's his real name. His real name is B Kong. A lot of people think that's his stage name, but that's his name. It's his name. A good steak doesn't need A1, but sometimes A1 needs a good steak. That's true. That's true. Okay, so pinball map. Here's your takeaway. Those are in the chat. Keep an eye on the pinball map. See if these new machines, there's like 5 or 6 machines that came out this month. Go support your local arcade. Go see if they have the Foo Fighters, especially if you're a Foo Fighters fan. Go play it. You'll probably have a more enjoyable time than me because I'm guessing the person took a little bit of time setting it up. The game is a lot of fun. I think a lot of people really enjoy it. The fact that you can get so much joy out of it. I mean, even just pulling the plunger, basically pull the plunger about 90% of the way. Almost like you could probably do it all the way and it'll go up that ramp. But I found that all the way. Oh, let me tell one more quick story. So I don't think I told the whole thing. So, okay, there was 2 or 3 funny things that happened when I was playing Foo Fighters. So you pull the plunger all the way and it'll go up the ramp, and I hit that, nailed it like 2 times in a row. And I was like, man, that's really, really cool. It's like goes up the ramp and then swings around. It's like a little roller coaster and comes back to the flipper and bam, you can hit it. And I went straight in for the left ramp that would get you to the van. It was just like, boom, boom. I was off to picking my city. And it was just like I had seen Jack Danger do, and it looked really cool. It was a lot of fun. But like the 3rd time I'd hit it up the ramp and it would just go flying, remember? And then the other thing was, as I was playing it, I was trying to slow it down. I was aiming at things, and then I'd get those tiles, and then the ball would get stuck. Okay, so the very first time the ball got stuck, it was just sitting there. And I was like, okay, let me try to shake the machine just a little bit. I don't know what the tilt level's at, I'm tapping it, and it's like, danger, 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 which is kind of funny. Jack Danger he's like, danger, danger, So I was like, okay, let me back off a little. Let me see if I can kind of give it a good shove that it won't trigger the tilt. No, it triggered the tilt. I lost my ball. And keep in mind, this machine's 8 times more expensive when it comes to how much it costs to play the game than all the other machines there. So I was like, I don't want to lose a ball. Like, it's super important. It's expensive to just play around. You like spend $20 without even thinking about it, right? Okay. So then it happened again. So when it happened again, I was like, okay, I'm just going to wait it out. I'm like, machine, you fix it. You do that thing where you notice that the ball is stuck. So you start vibrating different things and you get the ball unstuck. So I'm waiting there for the ball to get unstuck. And the ball's sitting on a tile, right? And the very first thing the machine does to get the ball unstuck is launch the ball as fast as possible. And it hit the glass. Like it was like the knocker sound when you get a free round, you know? It was like, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm like literally looking at the glass thinking, like, is that going to crack it? Because I did not see that ball move. It just flew straight up and then flew across the table. I was like, what is going on? So it was like, man, this machine, it's not level or something, and the ball got stuck at that part. It's not the end of the world. It's not a big deal. I wasn't extremely disappointed, but I thought it was funny. But there was more exciting things about it, and there is like this. I don't know what it's called. Like it's not a pop bumper, but it's like a bumper that you can hit, and it's over in the right kind of corner area. Let me see if I can pull up this video here. Might be able to describe it here. Hold on a second. Yeah, maybe this. Yeah, I think this will kind of show it. All right, so you go up the table and... Okay, so... Pro, I love the artwork on it. Okay, you come down. Those are the flippers. Pretty nice. Got the band right there. The different modes. Okay, so there's the ramp you go up to get into the van. And then you can't... Here it comes. It's right here. Okay, right here, there's like a ball launcher that you're... So basically, it's really fun to get the ball to go around the back. It's pretty easy to do, and you can get it to go 2 or 3 times in a row pretty easily. Like the ball will come down, and you time it just right, and you flip it again. But what's really cool is if you do miss it, or maybe you angle it just right, it's pretty easy to get the ball to hit this launcher. And if it comes at a pretty right angle, it'll go right up that loop again, and that's pretty fun. It's pretty exciting. So I do like that feature in the game. And then I wanted to grab, so upgrade the van, complete drop targets, and hit modular targets to upgrade van modes. Color indicates upgrade level. Yellow is minimum, red is max. Van modes: hit white shots to spell van. Shoot the left ramp to do something. Build the Foobot, battle the Overlord, Combotron, search Area 51, bot frenzy, sonic radio, overdrive, ball slave. When overdrive is lit at the left out lane, hold the left flipper up to save the ball. Cool. I think I got that. As I remember, there was like an overdrive thing, because this is the Pro. It doesn't have that kicker. Oh, is that what it's called? The kicker? So it doesn't... what's so the kicker that will kick it back up the ramp. I see what you're saying. That's what you're saying. Gottlieb used it a lot. Yeah, I was watching that video by Jack Danger, and he was talking about how he took influences from like a ton of places, a ton of different machines. And I think that is, in fact, why it's a lot of fun. I'm pretty excited about it. This is how I don't know, rank it a little bit. I was telling my daughter about this. I'll repeat what I told her. It was, I think Foo Fighters to me is actually more enjoyable. Yeah, the dead post. Yeah, but it's like the Pro has like it doesn't have a dead post, but you can get the value of the dead post as well, right? There's like the out lane that you come around there's like a save, right? There's a way to save it without having the dead post, I had heard. Because the ball did come around and I was able to grab it. And then there was a couple times where I think the left flipper was up and it bounced and I was able to catch it again. But I've been able to do that on a different game before as well. But it seemed to happen more often on this Foo Fighters. Anyway, so the Foo Fighters machine, like just first impressions, gut reaction. I think the Godzilla Premium is better than the Foo Fighters Pro, but the Pro of Foo Fighters, I think it's up there. It has enough features in the Pro to make it a very exciting table. And I think so James Bond is interesting. James Bond feels like it has a very classic table feel to it, just the way it's kind of more, just the way it's set up. It's a different type of game, but I like the pace of Foo Fighters. It's fun. It's exciting. I think probably a newbie, including myself, could get into Foo Fighters and have a lot of fun seeing that ball go around. Mike, his showroom is open 12 p.m. to 9 p.m., and you can coin up all the machines there, and they're also for sale too. Ooh. I see. You're talking about captains, right? That's really cool. Yeah, you were saying that. Kong's like, if I came out there, we could have a lot of fun there. Yeah. You can qualify a ball save on the left out lane, right? Yeah, I'm surprised on how good the table is, because I thought I would just really want to get it because of the IP, but now it's actually a worthy buy in my opinion because of the game itself. I think they're going to keep on making more upgrades to the software, and maybe that will make it a little bit better. And then I remember when we went, Kongs and I were at the Stern booth at CES, and we were just kind of hanging out there most of the time. There was a lot of the employees from Stern. They kept on taking a look at the James Bond machine, and they were tweaking it like right then and there. People were playing with it, and then they'd open it up and then literally start like bending things, and they had noticed that like between one rail and another, it was like there was a little bit of gap, and the guy's like, we're gonna have to adjust that. And I don't think he was talking about adjust that machine. I think he was talking about making production adjustments, like they're doing QA of that machine, which wasn't at the time. I think it was out in some places, but maybe they were still in their first production run or something, but they were talking about making tweaks to it. So like, I don't know, maybe this is what I'm afraid of with with going up that ramp too fast. What I'm afraid of is, and I don't know the game well enough. Like, is it possible for the ball to actually go off the ramp and then fall in that trap? I don't know if there's a cover above that trap. Like, is there a cover? So if the ball goes up the ramp, will it then get stuck inside with the other ball? I don't know. But that would kind of suck, because if you own the machine, then you'd have to take it out and pull out the ball. You would think they had thought of that, but I couldn't see from looking at the play field. I was like looking at it going like, that thing's gonna fall in there, because it fell off the ramp pretty often. I think it was like 3 out of 5 times it was flying off the ramp. Atari just purchased 12 Stern games, including Berserk and Frenzy, as well as bought a game studio. They released Berserk on the VCS same day. Looking forward to seeing what else is released. It's interesting. Kong says, wait to judge it till you play the premium. It may be a huge difference, just like Godzilla Pro and Premium. I feel they are very different games. That's fair. What was interesting, though, is I almost called you, Kongs, while I was there, because I know that you're like, you're debating on Foo Fighters or Godzilla or both. There's like all these different options for you, right? And when I was playing, I went back and forth between Godzilla Pro and Foo Fighters Pro. And those felt like Foo Fighters was better. That's what it felt like. Like just playing the Pro versus Pro, I was like, Foo Fighters is... And I was trying to separate the fact that I was hearing Everlong, and then Walk, which is awesome. But I was just trying to judge the table, just the gameplay itself. And here's a game that I've played a lot, the Godzilla, and it's kind of a hard game. And just all the variety of things that you can do on the Foo Fighters Pro. And maybe it was because it was new and I was still experiencing it and learning it, but I still felt like I got a lot of joy and happiness out of like getting the ball to go around the back end and then going up this ramp and then going up that ramp and then, having it wind around and then how you can get a really cool launch. And I don't know, all of that like immediately was like a super high satisfaction. Here you go. Come on, Kongs. Go to Texas. You can go play the premiums. Anyway, 55 minutes is a long chat about pinball machines. Anyway, if you enjoyed this content, hit the like button, hit subscribe. I really appreciate you guys hanging out, just allowing me to tell my first impressions of this machine. Means a lot for you to come and support the content. I always really appreciate it when a group comes together to come hang out with me and discuss things. Yes, the Pinball Festival. My fam is in Texas, and I wish I could visit that. They live near the Video Game Museum, too. MG with the Sonic Origins is up for pre-order. Side note, nice. Thank you, man. Fun show. Good night, everyone. Carlo, congrats. Thank you, guys. You guys have a good night. Check out these new machines when they come. There you go, Kongs. Go to Irvine. You're going to go to Irvine and you're going to have a good time. So I'm only pressuring you to do that because I know you're going to be really happy with that. All right. Take care, guys. We'll see you. Thanks, JT, for stopping by. Thanks, MG. Ballistic Coffee Boy, thank you so much for coming and hang out. I never say your name because I always forget how to pronounce it. Supplist, supplerist, supplist. There it is, supplist. All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you guys next video. Take care.